All right, what's up, guys? Let me find a good spot to set you. This is the first time I've gone live and actually had it work, so hopefully things continue to function correctly. All right, cool. It looks like I'm gonna have to leave things on the front-facing camera, but that's fine. And as far as I know, I can repost this. You don't have to be viewing it live. So while we build our audience, if anybody, I'll just kind of explain what's going on tonight. And we'll be here for about the next, what time is it? I don't even know, about 7:45. Be here for the next half hour probably. So settle in, grab yourself a drink, and I'll show you what I've got. I just picked up a create your own 6-pack. I could not decide on what to go with at the Hy-Vee liquor, so I'll show you what I've got. We'll kind of do some drink reviews while we're at it. So this is the Peachtree Red Rambler Ale, and I've had one. I got just a regular Guinness. That's the only thing I've had. The other 5 drinks I've never had. So, oh, and by the way, you'll hear the heat kick on occasionally, so hopefully that's not annoying. This is a red. I'm guessing kind of an Irish red, but it's not Irish, so must just be a red ale. We'll see how that goes in a minute. We also have here the Polliner. I don't know if you're seeing this mirrored also, probably. Polliner Oktoberfest Marzen. Never had that either. This comes from New York, but it's modeled after a Munich, Germany beer, so we'll see. We've also got like I said, just a regular Guinness. And this is a Guinness Draft Stout, which I think is just the regular Guinness. Just in their special edition bottle, so no big deal there. One of my favorites, though. I love just a basic Guinness. Okay, we've also got the Tallgrass Oatmeal Cream Stout. And this is, geez, where's this from? I don't know. I've also got to watch my time here. I'm running our local radio net tonight, so I want to make sure I don't miss that. It starts at 8 o'clock. That would be bad. Okay, this is a Grolsch in kind of their cool, there's the focus, classic bottle. And this is a 16 ounce from Holland. Also in the make your own 6-pack section, they had a 12 ounce in just a regular bottle. And I thought, why would anybody buy that when you can get the special edition 16 ounce in the nice reusable bottle for the same price? And finally, we have a Wasatch Polygamy Nitro Porter. So anything nitro that I've had I like, so we'll see how that goes. All right, let's start with the, I don't know, let's start with the red ale. That was first on the list. And of course I'm not going to have a bottle opener out here, but I've got a vice grip, so that should work. Oh yeah. Okay, so anyway, as I titled the video, this is going to be kind of a year in review for the channel. Different projects that have happened and either been completed or not completed. Mostly not completed would be my guess. Also, some things that are going on with the channel and things to look for in the coming year. So, give me 1 second. I just need to check the time. Hopefully I can do that. 7:48. Okay, good. I'll have to do that a little bit frequently here up until 8 o'clock, but no big deal. So anyways, this is Sunday, December 23rd, and I'm off for Christmas break. If you followed the channel for a while, you know that I have an auto and small engine repair shop, and I take 2 vacations each year. I take one for Christmas break, and it usually kind of follows the local school holiday schedule for their time off, and typically that is the 23rd to the 3rd, but it really just depends on what days those fall. So, like this year, the 23rd is today, Sunday, so the 21st was Friday. I would imagine the kids went to school Friday, and then they're going to go back. I think the 3rd is on a Thursday, so that kind of stinks. They're going to go Thursday, Friday, and then have the weekend. But anyway, typically I would have gone back to work on that Thursday, but since it's on a Thursday and it's just 2 more days, I decided to really go for it this year. Sorry about the focus, by the way. It'll catch up. Decided to really go for it this year, and I'm off till the 7th. So from tomorrow, or actually from today, I'm off for 2 weeks. So should be pretty sweet. Things going on with the channel. As I mentioned in our last video, I got a new phone, and that's what you're watching right now. And the video quality, I should mention, Lily the puppy is here. So she's roaming around on the ground, but got her little pink sweater. Got a new phone with a new camera, and I'm going to do more with that. It's focusing on my bottle. I'm going to get a new tripod and a mount and a new microphone for the phone so that everything is awesome. It's going to probably I'm going to do a lot of videos from the shack when I'm not working on stuff. And so it's going to sit back in the corner behind me and kind of be like so I'll be in front of the camera a lot more than usual, because usually with shack videos I'm holding the phone and I'm behind the camera, and I guess for tutorial sake it might not be bad, but for just general viewing, that's a pretty boring video to watch. So that's something new that'll be coming soon. I actually bought almost an identical setup with the mount and the microphone for somebody for Christmas, and I'm kind of going to see how it works for them. I might even do an unboxing and review on it to decide which way I'm going to go, but something will be happening, I would guess, in the next month at the latest. So that's something to look out for. As far as projects from 2018, I didn't look back and make a list of videos to know exactly when stuff came out, but I kind of have a general idea. I quit working on the tractor last year because that really stacked up. Oh, by the way, I opened this drink. I guess I should try it. And if you can see, probably can't see very well with the reflection, but there's a little bit of sediment on the bottom because it's kind of an unfiltered deal. So I'm just going to, since I'm not using a glass, I'm just going to mix that in a little. Let the foam die down. Anyway, the tractor I know I didn't work on, and I'm really hoping to get to that. I can't guarantee that it'll be in the next year. It's kind of on the back burner as far as projects go, and I haven't really given an update relating to why you haven't seen the tractor much at all. It is still here. It's actually right outside the door in my yard, but I'll be getting to that at some point. It's still something I want to do. I haven't sold it or thrown it away. Wow. That's really good. I wish I had a glass. I could show you the color. They say it's a deep red color and malty flavor. It's the most popular in their tap room. The malt character is balanced with 3 varieties of hops. It is a versatile beer that can be enjoyed alone or pairs well with a broad spectrum of foods. It is really good. The Red Rambler Ale. Another project that is ongoing, I don't know why the focus keeps doing that, sorry, is the shop truck. The shop truck is also out in my driveway, and that's something that is really slow. As you know, if you've watched the series, the bed was such a pain, and it still is. It's ongoing. What I decided to do is I rebuilt the bed. You can look back at the series, so I won't go too much into depth, but in order to secure the 16-foot 2x8s, I think they are, there's like 10 of those, 10 or 11, and I had a bunch of carriage bolts on hand from some hardware that I bought. I had like a couple few hundred carriage bolts, and the most that I had was 5-inch lengths, and all I needed for the boards was like a 2, maybe 2.5-inch length. And so I thought, well, rather than spend all the money on the correct length and style of bolt, I'll just use the ones that I already have. So what that involves is drilling a hole. They're 3/8 bolts, so you drill a 3/8 hole through the board and then through the steel cross member underneath it. Then you put the bolt in. I decided to use nylon insert lock nuts so that everything would stay put. So you have to thread that in or on about 3 inches of bolt before you even get to where it's tight. And you can't just spin it on with an impact because there's a C channel in the frame. So the bolt, I'll try to illustrate this. Here's the frame. The board's laying up here. The bolt comes through down to here. So I can't put an impact on it because this part of the frame is in the way. So what I have to do is reach in here with a vice grip and hold it, and you've seen this in the video. Ratchet this up with a ratcheting wrench, and then switch the vice grip to the bottom and tighten it all the way. And the vice grip is because it's a carriage bolt and it would just spin because there's nothing to hold on the top side. So that's for one bolt. Take that times 244 bolts in the whole bed of the truck. And I figured once, on average, one bolt is about 10 minutes. And that's if you get the hole drilled. Drilling these holes has been the hugest pain. I know hugest isn't a word, but it's worth it. Worth using that word. It's such a pain. Because I've rounded off so many drill bits. I'm doing it correctly. I've used cutting oil, gone slow, not pushed too hard, and it just, the steel is something else. It's like 1960s steel, and it's rusty, and I don't know what the deal is. If I'm drilling, a lot of the time I'm drilling into an old bolt from the old wood that was there, and so that's hardened or whatever, and it's just been a huge pain. So anyway, I think I'm over halfway done with the bolts by far. So once those are done, and that's been the biggest hang-up, things should start moving much quicker, and I'll bring you along with that. And as you know, you can see where I'm sitting in the shack. This has been a big thing over the last year that kind of took priority over a lot of other projects, financially and time-wise. And so hopefully I can get back to some other stuff. Things up and coming that I want to bring you along with, and I've got 3 minutes here before I start the net, so you'll get to see what a radio net looks like. I'm running the net tonight, so that'll be fun. Anyway, things up and coming, and we'll touch on this again following the radio stuff in a minute, but I've got a 1979, I think, Honda XL500 dirt bike that I'm resto modding for my cousin. He's hiring me to kind of restore the mechanicals but keep the old look on this motorcycle. And it does run, so we're not going to get into too much engine. Maybe clean or replace the carburetor, do brakes, shocks, tires, some body work, upholstery, maybe a little electrical, stuff like that. So that'll be cool. That'll be another series starting. Also want to kind of finish up the motorized bike series. That kind of was finished, but not completely. And I've got about 1,200 miles on the motorized bike now. over the last 2 years, and haven't really given an update or shown that for a while, and I never really finished it all the way. I got it finished enough to ride, but then I was so excited to ride it that I didn't really finish the aesthetics of it. So hopefully get back to that in the next year. And I've got 1 minute, so we better get to the radio here. So hang back, enjoy your drink. Cheers to 2018. And here comes the amateur radio net. I'm going without my script on the net tonight, so this will be interesting. It's my second one ever. Just waiting for 8 o'clock to tick over here. All right, here we go. This is KE0QEU, preparing to call the Boone Area Amateur Radio Net. Is the frequency in use?
Welcome to the KB0TLM repeater, Boone, Iowa.
Nothing heard. This is KE0QEU, preparing to call the ARES Weekly Net on the Boone 2-meter amateur radio repeater. I'm going at it without my preamble tonight, so bear with me. I'll try. The purpose of this net is to train operators and to pass formal or written traffic. This net meets weekly right here on 146.850 on the Boone Amateur Radio Repeater, courtesy of the Boone Amateur Radio Club. We'll start by taking check-ins this week, Alpha through Lima. If your suffix is Alpha through Lima, come now.
KB0LPI.
Okay, picked up W0FS and KB0LPI. Now we'll take Lima through Zulu. I'm a little out of sorts. Lima through Zulu, through the alphabet. Come now.
KB0MPL.
Okay, got KB0MPL. And we'll just pause one more time. Any other check-ins through the alphabet? Alpha through Zulu. Okay, I better pause quickly to make sure there are no announcements or formal or written traffic to pass. Nothing heard. All right, to the top of the list, we'll start with the roundtable segment and go to Clay, W0FS. Go ahead.
Well, good evening all. We're just coming home from Des Moines area. We were down to see the Jolly Holiday Lights. And this past few days I got my amplifier fixed, so we're back up to power on HF. And we got a dual band radio fixed for KB0HYY. And we're working on getting W0MYE's radio program. I finally got the list made out to put in it there, W0FS.
Well, you're sounding real good, mobile. Not sure of your exact location, but things sound great, and it sounds like the repeater audio is back up tonight, so that's a good thing. All right, next down the list is Eric, KB0LPI. Go ahead.
Good evening, Blake, and everyone on the net, which is Clay and Margaret. I'm guessing the holiday weekend has a little something to do with the lack of check-ins tonight. But not much new in Radio Land here. Just keeping on. Been driving the car lately, so I don't have the truck. Usually when I got the truck, I can tune in on little 2 meters and at least try to keep an eye on some stuff. But don't hear a whole lot. Not much new from me. Maybe if the weather holds up or doesn't get too much worse, maybe I'll try to rig up a little HF antenna and try to do a little HF work sometime in the near future. That's about it from here. Back to net, KB0LPI.
Sounds great. Yeah, I'm hoping to get into HF more so, or as much as I can with my current allocation, but I'll wait for my turn to touch on that a little bit more. Next on the list, KB0MPL. Go ahead, Margaret.
Good evening, Blake and Eric and Clay's right here. Yeah, I got out into my office this afternoon and started plugging away at the digital problem. And I can't figure out why it won't start the computer won't start the radio, but if you turn on the radio before you open FLDG and FLRig, it does the frequency sync and the settings sync. So, but then when you try and transmit, nothing happens. So, makes a humming noise. Not even much of a humming noise, and no power goes on. And I know that the computer is putting out the audio and receiving the audio. I know which one's input and which one's output. So, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll work on it some more tomorrow, seeing as it's Christmas Eve. KB0MPL.
Well, digital is something I have not even begun to dip my feet into, so about the only person I could direct you to is within arm's length. But anyway, we'll pause, and then I'll take my turn. Are there any other check-ins? Alpha through Zulu, please come now. Okay, nothing heard. Just the 4 of us. I haven't done much. I'm still working on this interference I get when I plug in my HF, even while I'm just listening. If my microphone is plugged in, completing the loop between that and the VHF radio, I get a hum. And so it's even worse if I power on the tubes in the HF, but I think some sort of RF rejection filter or whatever I can get between the two might help with that. So also working on a transformer. I've got an impedance transformer I'm soldering up tomorrow, hoping to get that done to closer match my modern 600 ohm Heil to the 50,000 ohm Kenwood radio microphone input. So hopefully that will make a difference. But other than that, just taking some time off for the holidays, and might get into one of my vintage radio projects, working on those. A little bit scared of the high voltage. I don't want to have anything happen. So anyway, that's it from here, and I'll pause one last time before we close this net and move to our abbreviated net on the 440 repeater. Are there any further check-ins for the Boone 2-meter amateur radio net? Please come now.
This is the KB0TLM repeater.
Okay, nothing heard. We will close the 2-meter net and move to an abbreviated net on the Boone 440 repeater to make sure that it's working. And see you there. This is KE0QEU. Clear. Okay, so now we'll move from one repeater to another repeater. And this one is a little bit quicker, a little bit more conversation, but there's only 4 of us tonight, 3 plus me, so not too much going on. This is KE0QEU, preparing to call the Boone 440 net. Is the frequency clear? Okay, nothing heard. This is an abbreviated net, courtesy of the ARES and Boone Amateur Radio Club. And if there are no announcements or formal or written traffic, we'll take check-ins through the alphabet, Alpha through Zulu. Please come now.
This is KB0MPL, and please check in at W0FS.
KB0LPI.
Okay, that time I got KB0MPL, W0FS, KB0LPI. So the band's back together. Is there any other news or comments?
KB0LPI.
Go ahead, Eric.
I was just going to comment and advise you to be especially careful and do watch working on the high voltage section on those older rigs, because I've messed with that and actually gotten tagged by that myself, and it's not fun. It's not something that I would like to repeat. So whether it's chicken sticks, I think they call them, to try to get the cap discharged, or whatever else, whatever you need to do to make working on that tube stuff safe, go ahead and do it, because it's not fun to get bit by it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll even mess with it. I think, if anything, I'll bring it to the next meeting or next gathering and make sure I get all the advice needed. I've heard it's hundreds of volts, so nothing I'm too excited to be dabbling in. I heard NXM over on the 2-meter repeater, so I'll pause for check-ins in case Michael's made his way over here. Please come now.
W0NXM.
Okay, W0NXM. We'll go ahead and take your roundtable. This is KE0QEU.
W0NXM. Good evening, everyone on the net. Michael here. Yeah, just kind of noticed it was well past 8 o'clock and thought swing over to check in. That's about it. W0NXM.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great holiday and your first Christmas with the new one. And are there any other comments before we close the 440 net? All right, that time I got K0KLO. Do we have any other check-ins? Okay, if that's everything for tonight, I'll be closing the 440 net. Merry Christmas to everybody, and may Santa leave a radio under your tree. This is KE0QEU clear.
W0NXM.
W0NXM, KE0QEU.
That was Kilo Zero, Kilo Oscar Oscar. My 5-year-old isn't the clearest on the radio. W0XM.
Got it. Kilo Oscar Oscar. Thanks a lot. Okay, so anyway, that's what the radio net looks like. That was kind of different. We only had 3 and 5 check-ins. Typically there's maybe 8 or 9, so things last a little bit longer and it's a little more exciting. But actually, time-wise, I was figuring about 8:15 to be done with that. Excuse me, and it's 8:14. So anyway, yeah, this is really good. I'm about halfway done with this, and we'll move on to our next drink and continue talking about their year in review and what to look for. So we touched on, let's see, the Shack, and I guess since I did a series on that, there's nothing really new, and I don't want to give anything away in this video. If you've been keeping up with the series and maybe missed something or whatever, I don't want to spoil it. So the Shack is a big thing over the last year. A little bit of work on the truck. Motorized bike, I think I might have had one segment in that series over the last year. Something else that I'm hoping to have coming up is to get my motorcycle back on the road. That's my 2009 Royal Enfield Bullet Electra, and that thing has sat for, I think this will be 3 years now that it's had no spark. And my temptation is just to take it to the nearby motorcycle shop and have them do it. And I don't know. I'm going to readjust this so that it actually zooms in like it should. Or focuses like it should. Yeah. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or fix it myself. I tried a couple things myself and got discouraged, and I'm not particularly a motorcycle person as far as repair goes, so I don't know. I'm afraid I would do something wrong and it might not be worth doing it myself, but we'll see. So that's something coming up. Something else coming up radio-wise, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 7 old either receivers or transceivers. A lot of it's old tube stuff. I've got, I'll show you here actually what I've got. I can spin the camera around. Hopefully. Yeah. I have my 1939 Hallicrafters Model S40A. This is an old shortwave receiver, and that's something I'm hoping to get into. You heard me talking on the net. Wonder what that is. Huh. You heard me talking a little bit about that on the radio just now. Hoping to get into some of these old tube radios and kind of restore them. At least get them working. So that's something radio-wise that'll be coming up. Also, we'll be doing a lot more HF stuff. That reminds me. I'll shoot it. I'll skip that one tonight. Hoping to do more HF stuff. As you also heard me talking about on the radio, I've got some issues with interference that I'm hoping to get fixed. And so, once I get that done, and once I get my antenna tuner back, my tuner is being fixed by MFJ down in Mississippi right now, or replaced if I'm lucky. Had some immediate issues with that as soon as I got it. And so I sent that back. It's been about 3 weeks ago, and they were estimating 5 to 8 weeks on repair. So once I get that back, HF will be going a lot better than it is now. Sorry, I got a mustache hair in my mouth. For the time being, I was going to tune in some HF and see what we can listen to, so I will kind of readjust you guys to see what I'm doing here. See what we get. There's a guy down in the south somewhere. There's some CW going on at the bottom of 80 meters. There's a guy moving right along. There's a station sometimes on 7490 on Sunday nights. Let's see if we can hear that. It's been off the air for quite a while, actually. Yeah, I don't hear him tonight. Well, anyway, that's probably not very exciting. But as I mentioned, new projects coming along. One other one I thought of just now. I want to build a racing lawnmower. I got to thinking, as much as I like lawnmowers in general, and as many mowers as I have sitting around, that it's a must that I build a racing lawnmower. And I'll kind of tell you guys my plan. What I want to do is have a older, trying to think of the style, tractor style riding mower, but like older, like a Dynamark or maybe an old Craftsman or John Deere, something like that. A round fender John Deere would be really cool. But anyway, what I want to do is actually take the whole body off of the chassis, which with a lawnmower that doesn't really make sense. Basically take the front axle off and the rear differential off. And then what I want to do is just put a live axle in the back, just a modern live axle. And then in the front, I haven't really thought about it, but I don't know. I guess just beef it up with more like go-kart style spindles, and I guess I'll widen it. I want to widen the whole thing so that the stance is really low and wide. But basically, what I've really thought about is power-wise, I want to have a horizontal motor up in the front under the hood, but then run that with a chain or a belt all the way back. It's hard to explain, I guess, but have it be rear-wheel drive, but have the engine be in the front, horizontal, and run, I guess your typical mower runs with a vertical belt. This will run horizontal, probably with a chain. So it'll be kind of more like a motorcycle drivetrain, but two-wheel, or a go-kart drivetrain, but extended, because you won't have the motor right on top of the rear axle. It'll be way up here under the hood, and you'll be sitting right here in between the two. So kind of unique, kind of interesting, but that's one thing I've been wanting to do. Something else that kind of got started that I'd like to get back into is the go-kart that I was building with Emily. The gearbox idea that I had for that, I'd like to incorporate on something. And I thought of doing that just on a typical riding mower with the stock differential and the stock engine. I would just add basically a torque converter, I guess, in something that maybe had a bad hydrostat or something like that. Just make it direct drive with a torque converter, and so you kind of have an automatic transmission, throttle controlled mower or utility tractor, something like that. One thing with the racing mower that would be sweet to maintain, there goes the focus again, is the mower deck. It'd be cool to still be able to mow with it. And there's a really sweet, I wish I could think of the name of it or the channel that it's on, but there's a really sweet racing mower. Why can we not focus? There we go. A really sweet racing mower you should look up. I think it's a Honda, maybe, but it is unbelievable. So take a look at that if you get a chance. And if I find it, I'll post a link in a later video. One thing I haven't figured out how to do is just post updates, I guess they call them. So I'll work on that too, so I don't need to make a video just to share an update or a link or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to finish this off and get on to our next drink real quick before I wrap up the video. So almost done. Let's see, what will we go with next? Man, such a tough decision. One that I'm really curious about is this Oktoberfest Polliner. So I think we'll do that next. Just have to polish this off quick. I'm going to turn the heat up a tad too. I would show you guys some CW Morse code work, but I'm kind of just learning to where I need to use a Morse code chart that's on the phone that I'm recording on, so I can't follow the chart if I'm doing a video. So anyway, but that's something I'm working on, is Morse code as far as radio stuff. And I've got a record up on the turntable here. It's a kind of a Morse code instruction record, and it's a 3-part, there's 3 records. So I'm working on that. You'll see that coming up in the next year, I would hope. Still just me here, it looks like. I wish there were people to interact with. It'd be kind of cool to see how that works, but maybe in the future. I guess as far as channel news, I'm hoping, I think I'm at 675 subscribers right now. It would have been interesting to track what I was at last year at this time, but hoping to get to that 1,000 subscriber threshold where the channel is monetized again. And I think the way I'm going to do that, because the 2 rules, hopefully these are still the same rules, but back when they made these new regulations for being monetized, the 2 requirements were that you had 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 video views. Just, I'm not sure if that was on one video or on the whole channel, but anyway, at the time, I had the views, but not the subscribers. I think I was only at 400 and something at the time. So I guess that would have been, I'll have to look when that was. Probably a year ago, if not more. So, figure 250 at least subscribers in a year. That'll get me awful close in the next year, so we'll see what happens. But one thing I'm hoping to do to grow the channel more quickly is with this higher quality video work, and I'll have the new microphone. I'll be able to upload much more quickly and consistently because I have so much more space on this camera, and I can upload directly from it and not have to wait to transfer it to the computer, to iMovie, to do editing and then upload that, which took like a week. This will be same day, and so I'm hoping to do at least one video a week. And whether that's a project video or a radio video or like a how-to repair video, just some sort of something once a week. And so one thing that it will be, unless I can get some sort of Android editing software, it's basically not going to have all the fancy transitions and intro and all that junk, because that's my boot. To get it up quickly, I want to just do it direct from the phone and avoid all that stuff. So we'll see how that goes, but that's something else to look forward to. All right, up next, I have no idea how to pronounce it, Paulaner Oktoberfest. Let me read to you guys about this. The secrets behind Paulaner's excellent taste and unwavering quality are locally sourced ingredients and a tradition of craftsmanship that has been passed down and perfected by our dedicated brewmasters since 1634. Here in Munich, Paulaner beer is not a mere product, it's a matter of the heart. Brewed in accordance with the Bavarian purity law, only using water, malt, hops, and yeast. Munich, Germany. Wow, 1634. This has to be expired by now. Alright, try our vice grip method again. There's a channel, I did this a while ago, I should do this again. What I'm talking about is I should mention, and I will, some of the channels that I watch that are very similar to some of the stuff I'm interested in. Obviously, that's what I watch is what I'm interested in. But some of the good ones I should share with you guys in case you don't subscribe to them already. Whew, a little skunky. Kind of a strange smell. I'm nervous about this one. We'll see. Here we go. Cheers. That is different. It has an interesting flavor. I can tell you what it is here in a second. It reminds me a lot of another beer. Maybe a little bit of Hoegaarden, if you guys have had... Sorry I keep looking over here. The camera is on the far left edge of the screen, and I'm trying to watch what I'm doing, so sorry about that. I'll get better with that. If you've ever had Hoegaarden, it has like that spicy, not like hot spicy, but like spices. There's some sort of spice, like ginger or clove or whatever in there. This has that, but it reminds me of something else. Can't think of it right away. Not bad. Probably not one of my favorites, but I don't mind it. And some beers, I feel like you have to have with a certain food. I don't know if this is weird or not, but I guess the reason I think that is the first time I had a lot of beers, I had them with a certain food, and it kind of stuck in my memory. So, like, for example, here in town, we used to have this sports bar and grill that served French fries, really good French fries, the thin shoestring style, with this special, what did they call it? Had a special dipping sauce. I'll have to ask around for what that was called, but it was like a chipotle sour cream, or something like that. Anyway, I think one of the first times I had Blue Moon, I had with those French fries, and so now every time I have Blue Moon, I want French fries, which is kind of interesting. Or Garden, like I mentioned, the first time I had that, ironically, was also with a Make Your Own six-pack, but it was from Come and Go, not from Hy-Vee. I had chips and queso, and so now with Garden, I associate chips and queso. And so just to drink it plain, it's kind of like not so good until you get those certain foods incorporated. But anyway, where was I? Shoot, I can't remember now. I had mentioned about uploading videos more regularly. Other channels to recommend. So if you're into the radio stuff, like radio repair or old radio reviews or operation or stuff like that, one that I really enjoy, one of the nicest guys runs this channel, and it's really informative. He's very knowledgeable. It's D-Lab Electronics, and I can't think of the guy's name. Marty, I think? I'll have to double check. Sorry if I'm wrong. But anyway, his videos are really good, and super nice guy. You can just tell by watching the videos. So, D-Lab Electronics. I'm trying to think of other ham radio that I like. A lot of them I haven't really subscribed to. I just kind of run across them regularly. And so I'll have to look more into that, ham radio-wise, what I'm watching. But mechanical-wise, if you're into that stuff, on my channel, a couple that I really like are Cars and Cameras. That is Ike and John down in, I think they're in North Carolina. And they do a lot of, specifically, go-karts. So if you like go-karts, watch those guys. But they have mini bikes, go-karts, motorcycles, trucks, cars, and both really cool guys. So Cars and Cameras is good. Mighty Car Mods is really good. I've watched them for years and years. That's Moog and Marty down in New South Wales. So check those guys out. They do projects. They have series pretty frequently, but project cars. It's pretty much all cars. So that's another good one. Just looking here, 5.8%. Not bad. One thing that I'm into that's not related to my channel, but I really like watching eating challenge videos. And if you're into those at all, which I don't really know why I enjoy them, I guess just to see the good food for the most part, and it always makes me hungry, and I like to eat food, so. Randy Santel is really good. He does eating challenges all over the world, and really cool guy also. Matt Stoney, of course, world famous. He doesn't put them out. Randy Santel puts them out about once a day. Matt Stoney is more like once every couple of weeks, because he's awfully busy with contests and stuff. So Matt Stoney is good. Amazing eating ability. And I used to watch Furious Pete pretty regularly, but I've kind of gotten away from Furious Pete. Another one that I've gotten away from, not food challenge related, is Wrangler Star. I used to watch Wrangler Star religiously for years and years. Religiously, no pun intended. But I don't know. I still enjoy his videos, but it's not the way it used to be. And if you're an old-time Wrangler Star viewer, you might kind of know what I mean, but it's just not the same as it was. So I'll still watch him every once in a while, but not as regularly. By the way, we're at 55 minutes on the Hangout. I'll cut it off at an hour, so about 5 minutes to go. But one other channel that I can think of right offhand, and I'll mention more of these in a future video when I come across them, but something else I enjoy watching is home improvement stuff. And one that is really good is Wabi Sabi. I'm pretty sure is right. Wabisabe. Wabi Sabi. They have an old farmhouse that they've been restoring over the last couple years, and their videos have a lot of work that goes into them as far as different transitions, and what they're doing in the video took a lot of time to begin with. So by now they're on part, I don't know, maybe 15 on their house. And so if you haven't followed along, you'll have plenty to watch. But in the meantime, it takes probably a month, 3 weeks to a month to see another video come out. So it's definitely worth it, though. Really good videos, really cool people. And that's kind of what I gravitate towards, is really cool people in the videos. There's one or two channels I watch with just idiots, but it's okay. It offsets the 20 or 30 I watch with really cool people. So hopefully I'm one of those channels with a really cool person. If not, whatever. But anyway, winding down, we've got 3 minutes left in the video. Let's just search around on some HF, and again, cheers to 2018, 2019 right around the corner. Hopefully you've got some time off over the holidays now, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Let's see what we can find here. Someone right there.
There wasn't any gas filling station there. Nothing around.
Oh, you know, one channel that is radio related that I like is the Radio Workshop. It's a guy, I think he's in the UK somewhere, but he'll tell old stories of radio back when he used to operate homemade pirate radio and shortwave radio, stuff like that. Really cool stories of, like, haunted radio. You should definitely check out, whether you're into radio or not. Very interesting stuff. I just love it. Kind of quiet tonight. Let's check 160.
She started at preschool. God, I can't believe that. But anyway, as soon as I go there, you bring home all kinds of different.
Got a little bit more on 160 going on. Still pretty quiet though. There's some CW. Well, anyway, as I mentioned, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Thanks to any of you subscribers. Really appreciate it. And hopefully I've entertained you, and look forward to a lot more to come. Improvements with the channel. Thanks for watching and hanging out. and may Santa leave a radio under your tree. We'll see you guys on the next video.